Hello there, prospective option seller. If you landed on this video, you are in serious luck because in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna speed run a strategy so fucking good that it is going to transcend you out of the trading trenches and leave you questioning all the time that you've wasted with day trading, futures, or whatever you've been trying that has failed. Now you might be saying, what does this loser on the screen with his bed on the floor know about selling options, and why shouldn't my monkey brain just click off and go back to scrolling YouTube shorts? Well, let me tell you, not only are you gonna leave this video confident to place your first option selling trade, you're gonna learn the 70% probability option selling framework that made me over $2 million in profit in 2024. And yes, I'm gonna refresh my account on screen right here for those of you who are already thumbing away at a hate comment. And yes, I tracked all the trades on a massive spreadsheet for you guys to download. Now that I've convinced you that this strategy can and will literally shit money, let's get into how to actually do it. What I'm gonna show you is the basics of option selling, the type of account needed to sell options, how to find stocks for this strategy, and lastly, the basics of choosing a strike price and expiration. Also, really quick guys, whether you're a total noob at trading or you're one of these experienced 40-year-old dorks in my comments who are questioning whether or not I'm legit, if you are serious about learning how to sell options and want to join a community of hundreds of literal option killers, you can click the link in the description and book a free 15-minute call with me directly. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna make this really fast, simple, and digestible for you guys. So if you are new to selling options, I promise you'll leave this video with at least the foundations of how to do it and how to find stocks to trade it on. So we're going to cover the topics, basics of option selling, the type of account needed, how to find stocks for the strategy, choosing a strike, and the basics of choosing an expiration. Okay, so the first thing is you can sell two different types of options, right? So in the first case, the most common, we could sell a put, and that is in fact a bullish strategy. Unlike buying a put, selling a put is a bullish strategy because we want it to stay above the strike price of the option that we sell, or our short put. So as you can see here, the market expectation for selling a put would be the price will either stay the same or rise, and then we would keep that premium that we received for selling to open that put. And then inversely, we can also do what's called selling a call or a short call, or a naked call, goes by a variety of different names. And selling a call is the opposite of a put. When you sell a call, that's a bearish strategy, and the expectation is that the stock will stay below the strike price that we sold our call at. So if the price stays the same or it stays below our short call strike price, we collect that premium and we don't get assigned any shares long or short in the case of the put, or short shares in the case of the call. So the example here that I'm going to run through is what would be considered a cash secured put or a short put. So in this case here, I'm going to outline the different parts. So we have -1 of XYZ, that's going to be the stock. The 90 put, that's going to be our strike price. So let me write that down. So that's our strike price. 523, that's going to be our expiration. And 1 is going to be the premium we receive. So in this case, times 100, that's $100. So we sold to open the 90 put, 523 expiration, and we collected $100 in premium for doing so. So what is the profit range? So let's draw that option out here. So the stock's at 100, we sold to open the 90 put, and for doing so, we received our $100 in premium. Now the only criteria for this to make money, or to keep our premium and not get assigned long the shares, is the stock needs to stay above 90 by our 523 expiration, and we keep that $100, no questions asked. Now, if the stock drops below 90 by our expiration, we now are obligated to purchase and be assigned 100 shares of stock, but we still do keep that $100 in premium that we received for entering the trade, which then lowers our cost basis. Okay, so next, I'm gonna keep this really simple. What type of account is needed to sell options? So typically you need level 4 options trading, depending on what brokerage you're using, a margin account, and some brokerages require a minimum balance. But in this case, a very good suggestion for me would be to use Tasty Trade, because they are not nearly as stringent with levels and having to pass tests and having to have a certain amount of capital. So in this case, if you are a total beginner, I would recommend using tastytrade. Okay, so next, how do we find stocks for this strategy? In this case, the wheel strategy or cash secured puts, where we sell to open a put, collect a premium, and then if it drops below, we buy that stock. So the easiest way to do this is to create a watch list for stocks that you want to own long term, right? Because in the case that you are assigned shares, you don't want to be stuck with something that you don't want to own. So we're going to create a watch list for ones you want to own, and you're going to set alerts at key support levels on longer time frames, because ideally you want to buy these stocks at a support level or a steep discount or a price that you believe it will rise from. So step 3 here, you're going to sell cash secured puts near the levels that you'd be willing to buy the stock at, and theoretically that would be at a steep discount. Step 4, if you are assigned stock, you now own 100 shares per one contract, and then you can sell covered calls on those shares. So in this case, let's say we were assigned at 90 here, we could then sell covered calls, say at 95, and then sell the stock then at 95 if the stock were to rebound above our covered call strike price. And if you are under a 10K account, you can still make these strategies work with something like credit spreads, which I cover much more in depth in other videos, or if you guys want to discuss it one-on-one, like I said, the link in the description is you can book a call with me. So next, we're going to talk about choosing a strike price and kind of like the basics of delta, right? So in the case of delta, it kind of gives us like a probability that the stock is going to stay above our strike price by expiration. So in the case here, I took this screenshot from Reddit. This person here has an outline of the different deltas, like a 30 delta is I don't mind buying, 20 I'll buy if I have to. But how we're going to use delta is we're going to use it kind of like a formula. In this case here, we sell to open an out of the money put at a 30 delta. So if the delta on your cash secured put option strike price is 30, that means that there's a 70% probability that the stock will stay above that strike price by expiration. So that's simple enough. So if you had a 40 delta, that would be a 60% probability that it's going to remain out of the money, or a 0.5 is a 50% chance that it's going to end out of the money by expiration. And then lastly, choosing an expiration. So typically speaking, it's recommended about 30 to 45 DTE or 45 to 60 DTE. But in this case, I gave you guys a simple criteria. If it's a low risk stock, I'd recommend 30 to 60 DTE. That helps you kind of like take advantage of the risk reward and the theta curve, which I'm not going to go into now. And lastly, if it's a higher risk stock, I'd recommend 7 to 14 DTE, because you don't want to have exposure to a super volatile stock that's high volatility for any extended length of time. So 7 to 14 DTE allows you to kind of like max out this time decay portion of the chart here and get in and out of the position quickly without having any major moves happen. So if this did help you guys and you do want to learn more about trading option selling strategies, click the link in the description, hit me up. I'm looking forward to talking to some of you guys one-on-one. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.